Hey guys at home, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, good. The problem is that we cannot hear you. Could you turn the phone off for me? Thank you. Let me see if I can figure out why. Test speaker, phone call. Speak and pause. No. Yes.
Sorry, I texted you. She said she knew my doctor already, that I was waiting. She dislocated her finger.
Yeah.
So I emailed. So she emailed me, but
I didn't get it. Tell her I didn't get it, but that's fine. Okay, so can somebody talk again for me?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm still not hearing you. Let's see, sound. Try it one more time for me. Say hello. Nope. Why every time does it do this? Okay, well, I'm gonna get started anyway as I try to figure out why the sound isn't connecting. So we're gonna start with fast write. Let's see. And it is, I think it's Samantha, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, do you think the foster care system that we see in movies is an accurate representation of how it really is? And
Did you use my contact?
yeah, we did. No, we didn't. Bronson, when was yours? Did you send it to me?
I think it was, oh yeah, I think it was that, oh yeah, I think it was, oh yeah, I think it was, do you think that Americans with European descent related to, which means white people should be Americans, Americans with African descent, meaning black people?
Okay, can you send that to me in an email? Just email it to me.
And I already did my MSc with geography, so.
Excellent. Okay. Bronson, do you mind turning down the sound on your phone? Thank you. Can somebody in Zoom please say hello again?
Hello?
Still, we're not getting any sound. I don't understand. Samsung has clicked sound preferences. Show volume, Zoom audio. Don't get it. Okay, well, this is annoying. Okay, so because we can't really hear you guys at home and I haven't been able to make the sound work, let's go to the chat in,
So I already sent my fast rate over to you, so if you could use that one, so if you could use that one for today. So, yeah.
you sent it to me how, in email?
Email, yeah.
Okay, we'll use it on Monday. So I'm just gonna pick somebody from home to cut and paste what you said about foster care. So I'm just gonna go by the first name that I can see who's been here for a second. Some of you, I see you came late, so Dayton and Alexis, I know you're here, I just marked you as absent though. Mia, can you cut and paste what you wrote about the foster care system into chat so we can all see it? As I continually wonder why I can't get the sound to work. TV speaker is on 100. Okay, so Mia said her computer's acting up. So we're gonna then just, so Mia, I still want you to cut and paste, but I'm just gonna go to the next person. Brianna, can you cut and paste what you said? Oh, you know, maybe one reason, hold on, I'm gonna ask, Alexis, can you unmute yourself? It's like, can you say something to me, Alexis?
Hello?
No, we're not getting the sound. Thank you. You guys didn't hear her, right? Okay, so Brianna, can I get just, okay, so here we go, and I'm gonna do it like this, so we can all look at it. And share, I'm gonna make it big font. Okay, so we're gonna get rid of that. Okay, and I'm gonna make sure that everybody can see what Brianna wrote. And when you're ready, Mia, go ahead and also share. Oops, that's not what I wanted to share. Sorry. Okay, so what did Brianna say? No, I don't think that the foster care we see in movies is an accurate representation of the foster care system. Sometimes when a child goes into foster care, the outcome can be good for them, but other times not so much. I've heard a lot of stories about children going into foster care and ending up in a home with abusive parents. There are so many children in the foster care every year. I personally just don't think they take the time and consideration to make sure that they get a good home. Okay, so one thing I want to point out here, it's a kind of hard question to answer because I don't know if I've ever seen a movie about foster care. And so notice, so not at all like a critique of, well, a tiny critique, Brianna. So you're saying, no, I don't think that the foster care we see in movies is an accurate representation of the foster care system. Brianna, can you tell me, have you ever seen a movie and could you name the movie that you've seen on foster care? Since we can't hear you. look in the chat and see if there's an answer in there. Okay, right. Honestly, no. I just figured, thank you. Honestly, no, I just figured that they make it look good in movies. Oh, okay. So that's the thing. If there was a movie that we all knew, then we could probably answer the question. But I would figure in movies they'd make it look bad, but we're gonna ask the person who wrote the question. So the next answer, thank you, Mia, for posting that in there. There are documentaries on Netflix, sure. I do not believe the foster care system is the same as in real life. My stepmom used to tell me horror stories from the days when she was a social worker. I also have watched many documentaries about the foster care system's failures. I do believe that there are social workers who are generally care about kids, but unfortunately I've heard more bad than good. And okay, so that is, at least we sense there that Mia sort of is referencing, she says at the bottom, there are documentaries on Netflix. Okay, so that would be better to answer the question because she's saying, and here's what I want to know, since Mia seems to know a little bit, are the documentaries portraying foster care as negative, positive, or are they just trying to show it like it is? Negative, right. So that's what I would have thought too. And now I'm gonna ask Samantha, so did you have a movie in mind?
Yeah, I watched the
Okay, so it's a show on Netflix. Is it a series or a series? Okay, so just The Trials of Gabrielle Fernandez. Okay, that actually sounds interesting. Yeah, I mean, the impression I have not watched any documentaries on foster care. My impression is that if there are films, it would portray them as very, very negative. Okay. Jordan, I marked you as absent and you're here. So I have to go back into the, I have to go back in there. So it's really helpful if we sort of all are on the same page. I'm gonna ask one more person from home. So let's see. How about Naya? Can you paste in your chat what you wrote about this? And while you paste it, I'm going to once again try to share the sound. It's driving me crazy that this is not working today. Right when I thought I had it, here we are at the end of the semester and I still can't make the sound work. Maybe I'll try this. Can somebody talk?
Hello.
Maya?
Hello.
Hi, yeah, you're still not coming. Talk again for me.
My name is Mia.
Okay. It's just not working. Darn it. Okay, so let's see if Naya wrote something in chat. And this is, let's all hope that next semester things are not like this. All right, so Naya, I did not get anything from you. So we'll wait a second for Naya. And how about the in-class people? What did you write about foster care? Sure. Okay.
I read that, okay, so in my opinion, I believe in some cases it is like it's like, so like you never really know what's happening inside.
In your mind, is the movie's bad?
Yeah.
Okay, so, but notice, where you're coming from isn't where everybody is coming from. So notice that the first person said that, if I'm reading it right, that they think, or I think I asked the first person, do you think it's good or bad? Some people think that the movies presented the topic as positive, but I think pretty automatically my mind went to negative But since we have no reference point, it's hard to know. So go ahead, Lainey, I didn't mean to interrupt.
So, yeah, basically, I think it's negative, because I watched a couple of like movies and shows that are negative in the negative sense. But like, for me, like, you never really know, like, I know some can be very good, but I know some can be like abusive things to do.
Right, so that's a very fair answer there, that, some portrayers of foster care might be good, some might be bad. Did you guys find this easy to write about this topic? Did everybody have an opinion on it? So you can put it in chat. I'm asking you. Yes, Bronson?
My question is, my answer is, it kind of is in a way considered that it's the same thing, but it depends on for the answer, I believe it kind of is in a way considered that it's the same thing, but it depends on the design of the movie and what the movie is like and how it is portrayed. Even for a child, you can put on the design of the movie and what the movie is like and how the movie is portrayed and how the movie is portrayed. Even for a child who can be foster care, the outcomes can be good sometimes.
Okay, so Bronson's answer was it really depends on the movie and the portrayal, which is sort of why this is an interesting question for today when we're going to talk about arguments. If everybody in the chat could answer this question, was this an easy prompt or a hard prompt? Oh, and thank you, I see. So I'm just going to paste Naya's up here. Again, it depends on the movie. So that is what Bronson also said. It depends on the actual movie. Most movies show examples of how foster care is. One movie about foster care was Instant Family. It showed how the parents were hooked on drugs and couldn't afford to keep the children. The Fosters, which is a show on Netflix that shows ins and outs, she fights for a better foster care system. Okay, so this is telling me that I actually canceled my subscription to Netflix because it was, there were just too many things to watch on it. So this is telling me that there's like a series about it and there's lots of documentaries about it. So you guys did have somewhere to like relate to, but also it's a hard prompt. Okay. So why is this a hard prompt? Which was going to be my guess, that it's a hard prompt. What do you think, Samantha, since it's your prompt? Why do you think this is a hard one?
But like the way that I'm writing my paper about it, I'm just saying like how it can be fixed and stuff.
Yeah, it's a great research topic, but here's what I'm guessing is hard about this prompt. If you've not been a foster parent or foster child, how do you know? B, if you have been a foster child, it's something that's probably pretty profoundly private, so you probably don't want to talk about it too much. And C, not everybody knows the shows and the documentaries on Netflix, etc. So it's just a hard prompt. Okay, so we're going to go on to talk about arguments and what you noted. And I'm going to have the at-home people write their arguments in the chat. And we're going to talk about whether these are provable in any way, shape, or form, and whether you have chosen a topic for your research paper, which you can back up with evidence. So if you're at home, go ahead and write an argument in chat. And let's see if you guys, so you're on a computer, you're not on a computer. So you missed class on Monday, Bronson, so on Wednesday. But did I tell you what to do to notice if you have arguments? Yeah, or anything else. So since you're the one without a computer, what I'm going to have you do is write.
I do.
Oh, you do? Okay, so everybody get on chat, and then we're just going to post some of these arguments up here. So the arguments that you noted on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, pick one and just write it in the chat. Yes. You weren't here. And think about an argument that you've had. Oh, here's a, so thank you, Mia, for your argument right off. Waiting in a CFA line versus going to eat at Arby's. What is a CFA line? I don't know what that is. That's a perfect example. I just want whatever. Oh, Chick-fil-A. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Chick-fil-A. Did you guys know that CFA is Chick-fil-A?
I knew that.
Yeah, I don't eat at Chick-fil-A. Okay, so Brianna, thank you. So go ahead and just, it's just to say whether these are things that are approvable, whether they are just your opinion, whether they relate to anything bigger than yourself. Okay. Alexis, you're still working on those the prompts. So moving on to, please write an argument in the chat. While you guys are writing arguments in chat, I'm going to catch up in the attendance since a bunch of you are here now that I did not mark as here. Looks like everybody's just online on Friday now. Maybe we should talk about it. Oh, that's why. I was like, where did all these people come from? Yeah. You can't see the chat?
I can see the chat, but only, like some of it come out on there.
So,
So, you just ready to
So you were supposed to just notice arguments that you had over the last 3 days, and it could be really, you know, just let's look at this one, waiting at line in Chick-fil-A versus going to eat at Arby's, or this one, C's Halloween decorations, I like these, can you buy them for me? Boyfriend, you don't need that. Me, yes I do. No, you don't. We came here for dog food. I don't care, I still want them. Totally. Argument, that would be an argument. Chick-fil-A versus Cane's. And we're just gonna see, are any of these provable? Is there any evidence in any way, shape, or form? In the chat on Zoom. And while you're doing that, let's make sure I have everybody's here. Who's here today? Okay. Dayton's here. Ebony is here. Alexis is here. Tiffany, are you here? Tiffany is not here. All right. Okay, so a lot of Chick-fil-A. I like that. Here's a sports one. So there are sports, Lakers versus Miami. Okay, a friend not understanding something. On the phone with my mom. She wasn't in a good mood. She was being rude to me for no reason. So, wow, that's okay. Hold on, I messed. Was on the phone with my mom. Okay, Trump versus Biden. Thank you for Trump versus Biden, because that we can talk about. Okay. Driving to a camp. Bryson, Bronson, is that your sound device? Oh, pit bulls. Everybody loves a pit bull argument. That's a good one. Okay, my friends and I argued because she likes to rewatch movies she has seen and I like to watch new ones. All right, McDonald's versus Burger King. All right, did I skip anybody's? I think I got everybody. Did I do that? My friend not understanding how the office is funny. Did I do that one? Yeah. Okay. All right, so let's just start looking at these up here. The first one was Chick-fil-A versus Arby's. Okay, so what could you argue in favor of one or the other? What's any way of proving that one of these is better than the other? How could you prove that it's better to go to one fast food restaurant than another? So if it's just what you're in the mood for and your taste, there's nothing to prove, right? There's nothing, but there are some things that you could look at to argue it one way or another. So what are the facts about Chick-fil-A versus Arby's? What would be an example of something factual? Price, thank you. Right, so you can look that up, but the only way to convince us of that is that you cite the prices for Chick-fil-A and for Arby's. So, you know, if you wanted to go for price, you'd have to be very careful in showing that the equivalent meals are worth the same thing. What would be another reason to choose one over? Once you've eaten Chick-fil-A, you know it's better. So Jordan, that is like precise argument that I can't use. Why is Jordan's argument just not usable? Once you've eaten Chick-fil-A, you know it's better. It's opinion, yeah. You know, so Jordan even knows that she's just expressing her opinion on Chick-fil-A. Whoever it was, since you wanted to go to Arby's, I don't remember who the first person it was who put up that example. You wanted to go to Arby's and your mom wanted to go to Chick-fil-A, right? So what was it that made you want to go to Arby's? So it was Mia who put that up? You were the Arby's argument, right? You were for Arby's shorter line. Okay, so that is something also, once again, it's factual, you can prove it. And she was hangry, which is a great expression. So yeah, you need things that are measurable to argue something one way or another. Okay, so then we have Walmart and the Halloween decorations, which is what Walmart does. Right, we cannot argue that you should or shouldn't buy something at Walmart, but you could argue that Walmart gets you to buy things the second you walk in the door. So like, there's no way that we can argue to buy Halloween decorations or not. But you could make arguments about how Walmart can, everyone knows you go into Walmart for one thing and you come out with 20. You went in to spend $5 on a lipstick and you walk out having spent $70 on everything, including Halloween decorations. And so how could you argue, how can you show that Walmart gets us to buy things that we don't really have the intention of buying? How could you make this a measurable, factual argument? You would have to do a lot of research. They advertise and it persuades us. So you could either look up what people said who are experts in advertising. If they say Walmart gets us to spend more money, you could, if there's no research on it, this would be something that a freshman could actually do if you wanted to do original research. Stand outside Walmart, ask 20 people, what are you going in to buy? Find them on the way out and ask them what they actually bought. So like, it's a researchable thing. Chick-fil-A and Cane's. So now this one is interesting because it's both chicken. Is one more expensive than the other? I'm guessing that Chick-fil-A is more expensive. Again, this is Arby's. It's probably down to what Jordan says, which is, you know, one is better. So not really arguable. Okay, arguing over sports, that a team is better than another team. This is totally arguable that one team is better than the other. And why is that? Statistics. Yes. So Naya, yeah. So that's exactly correct, that you can show that this team has existed from this time to that period, and we have the numbers to back it up. I have no idea. It's the Lakers who have better stats, right? Now, I'm not a sports person. Is the question about this one, the reason I was sort of happy to see it as a question, to not to get away from Chick-fil-A and fast food, but is there an obvious answer to this? I'm not a sports fan. My suspicion is that the Lakers are better because I've heard more about them. What's the better team in everybody's opinion here? You're not sports fans either? No, you don't know? I don't know either. Right, I think it's the Lakers too. However, it's not a good argument if you want to write a research paper on the Lakers being better and everybody already thinks they're better, then it's not a great topic because it's basically what we already know. So it would be more interesting to say Miami's a better team, yet the Lakers are somehow winning. Like, that would be an argument. All right, let's look at this one. My friend really not knowing how The Office is funny, me knowing it is a superior show. So I don't know who wrote the question, but a superior show. What is the question that I'm gonna ask? A superior show to what? So this cannot be an argument because if you said you just need a superior show to whatever. Can anybody give me a show that is a comedy that ran a really long time that would be comparable to The Office? Okay, thank you. The Simpsons. Okay. I'm surprised you brought that up because more and more of my students don't know what The Simpsons are. Is this provable that The Office is superior to The Simpsons? Where would you go for to back that argument up? It's okay. So Jordan says it's not provable. Alexis says that she loved. I don't know who asked these questions. I didn't pay attention, so I don't care if you love The Office or The Simpsons. It's how many people watch it, for sure. Right? You can show how many people watch a show. The Simpsons is the longest running sitcom in history. I mean, it's not a sitcom, I'm sorry, longest running cartoon in history. So that sort of shows that it's got a fan base there. How many people watch it, how long it's been watched, and what critics say. So those are both two incredibly popular shows, but you could show this, that one is more popular, but you would have to also argue that the popularity makes it superior. Okay, so this is something where you're saying, wait, it just feels like it's opinion. But if you can show it with data, you're good to go. Okay, here we have the phone call. Was on the phone with mom. She wasn't in a good mood and she was being rude to me for no reason, so I hung up. So that is an argument. Okay, so I don't remember who wrote that one. It's definitely an argument, but this is very much the definition of so personal, so subjective, so we don't know what's going on. So that's not something that's provable one way or another. Finally, we come to the one that is Trump versus Biden. I don't know which person put that out there, but the question that you ask around this argument would be what? So like, that's not an argument. What is this called? Trump versus Biden is not an argument. It is a what is Trump versus Biden? It's not an opinion and it's not a debate. It's a political debate. Yes, it is a political debate. So now let's figure out what is actually a question or an argument that you could ask around this. It is a political debate. So what would be the argument? And can you prove it? Who would be a better president? Sure. Who would be a better president? Okay. How could you prove that one would be a better president than the other? Right now, I'm going to say that Alexis, which is a better candidate? We're down to the last 2 weeks before the election, because what day is the election? Every single year in the United States, every 4 years, the election day is the same, and I'm guessing many of you, it's your first time to go vote. Are any of you voting? Okay, so no, it is not November 11th. It is always the first Tuesday of November every 4 years. Okay, so it's literally 2 weeks away. Today's the 16th, so coming right up. And so this question of how to show who would be the better president, so depending on their past as president, right? That would be something, depending on their past as president. And what are the measurable things to show that somebody had a past that was successful? With Biden, he was never president, right? So what do we have to go on? What can we show from Biden that's measurable? This might be why Biden might not win. The vice president doesn't do a lot. But yeah, so Biden was the vice president. The vice president, can you name anything, any legislation passed by Biden? Right, so we can't, which is why in some ways, whether we like him, hate him, Trump and every incumbent, what does an incumbent mean? The incumbent is it's the person running who's already in office. So the incumbent is the one who's running, who has that office. What can we say that Trump has done or hasn't done? He promised a bunch of things. So 4 years ago, I know that you guys were 14, so that's pretty young, but do you remember what Trump promised in 2016? Nobody? Build a wall. Yep. Make us great. Not just make us great how? Build a wall. Has that wall been, so yes, he promised he was gonna, again, make us great again, yes. So, did the wall get built? Can we show that wall? Right, and who did he say would pay for the wall? Do you guys know who Trump said would pay for it? Mexico, right. Did Mexico pay for a wall at the border? No. Right, so the other thing was make us great. So, you know, but it's not just make us great, it was MAGA, right? Make us great again. How are we doing? Can we show that the president improved the country? One of the things he said was infrastructure. Infrastructure. What does that mean? He said he would improve America's infrastructure, crumbling infrastructure. Infrastructure is what I was interested in. I thought maybe you know, I'm not a big Republican, but I thought maybe he'll build some infrastructure, meaning better roads, better bridges, better transportation. Did that happen? So is there a way to measure what somebody said they were gonna do and what they did? Did Trump say that he was gonna do anything that he did do? There are some things that Trump did say he was gonna do, and he did it. He said, no one knows what Trump promised 4 years ago. He said he was going to end ISIS. Do you remember ISIS? He did do that. And he said he was going to pull us out of endless wars. He did also do that. So there are some things that he did do, but he's just in a stronger position as the incumbent. So what is this called when we are showing the facts around an argument? What am I giving you? Claims and evidence. Claims and evidence. So on Monday, we're going to talk about what your argument is claiming and whether you have evidence. So I do want you to upload something on Monday. So we're going to go over here. It's very simple. You might even be able to knock it out right now. So I want you to write what your argument is. Okay, so just upload it. It doesn't have to be MLA. You're just going to write what your argument is. And we're going to determine whether you can make claims and whether you can provide evidence on this topic. Does that make sense to everybody?
How many arguments have?
Okay, so that's a question that is important. In your research paper, so feel free to put this into chat. Bronson just asked, how many arguments do you need to have? Oops, I don't want to make a poll. Where's chat? Okay, so let me put this in the chat. How many arguments do you need to have in your paper? So feel free to answer in the chat. 3 arguments. Ebony, why 3? So Ebony, why 3 arguments? Alexis says 1.
I didn't know it was about the paper. I thought you were talking about the 3 arguments you want us to have.
Bring in 3, and there's an endless number of arguments. So for the paper, all right, Alexis, were you talking about the paper? Okay, so why 1 argument? Why just 1 argument? Because basically, I'm going to answer my own question. Your thesis is your argument. Your thesis is your argument, and you should not have multiple theses running around the research paper. There should just be 1 thesis. And then you have something that's called a counter argument. So your main idea, your main focus, your main idea is your thesis, which is your argument, but we also need what's called a counter argument. Oops, counter argument. Does anybody know what a counter argument is? No? All right, well, that's good because the opposite side. Thank you. Yes, Jordan, that is correct. You need to show the other side. So if I'm arguing that, basically, I argue that there's a good chance that Trump will win again. And why did I argue this? Because I said the incumbent often wins again. But let's say I want to counter that argument. There's some really effective ways to argue the other side. What would that be? How can I argue that actually Biden's going to win? How can I counter that the incumbent usually wins? Incumbents, the guy who's in the position, he usually wins. But I want to argue the opposite. What would be the opposite? Okay, so I could say, the opposite is that there have been at least a major crisis every year of the Trump administration. A lot of people want him out of office. In fact, Alexis, how many people want him out of office is reflected in some statistics. Who's winning according to all the polls? All the polls show who winning. That's right. That's right. So now at this point, I'm not gonna lay my cards out on the table, but I'm just gonna say to you guys, if you don't believe your own argument or you argue yourself out of it, because is this a pretty good indicator that all the polls show Biden winning, that Biden is gonna win? Who showed in 2016 who was gonna win? Who was supposed to win in 2016? All the polls showed that someone else was gonna win, not Trump. Clinton. So all the polls showed, right, all the polls showed Clinton in 2016. So, 2016. So, and this can go on and on. That is my counter argument to the original one was kind of saying Trump is probably going to win. This is a much better example. It's to say Biden is probably going to win. Biden is probably going to win. But the counter argument is, look who won in 2016. The polls showed that Hillary was winning in 2016. And look who won. So those are counter arguments. And I'm gonna make you explicitly make a counter argument on after you turn in your argument. Okay, so you just need to turn in your academic research argument. It basically is your thesis. So when I have this little turn it in here, what is your argument? It's just a sentence or two of saying what you're arguing, just so I'm clear and you're clear on what that is about. What is your argument? Is everybody good on the annotated bibliography and understands what that's all about? Should I look and see who's turned it in? Anybody turned it in so far? Okay, so what I'm gonna leave you guys with, so especially because it's super annoying that I can't hear the Zoom people, there's one thing I want you to do, and we're a little bit past midterm. It's the 10th week of class. So we've been in class for 2.5 months. This is the first time that Nichols has put this in here as a Moodle feature. It's to give me feedback, and I don't exactly know how it works. So I'm gonna give you the last 5 minutes to do this. And then I will see you on Monday. Please upload your argument. So the main idea of your paper. Are there any questions on the annotated bibliography or the feedback? The argument needs to be uploaded by Monday at 9 o'clock, so before class. Okay? Okay, everybody at home? Just a couple of sentences. Everyone at home. Do you see the feedback? Okay, so I'm gonna leave you in here and you can finish the feedback and see everybody on Monday. You don't have to do the feedback either, it's optional. You have a great weekend. Oop. So we'll do your, Bronson will do your question on Monday. You emailed it to me, right?